Basically, everyone probably saw the video "I'm not racist." If you haven't, then just type it in. oh, Just type it in. Just type it in YouTube, and you'll see it. Um, and today I'm going to talk about the issues with this video. Not that I care so much, but there's some points that I want to make. First of all, the video is great because it brings a few topics to the front of the table. Now, the Rebbe once said that anything that's done in the way of an argument is going to be unsuccessful, because if you're arguing, then you're automatically doing it the wrong way, and that's why this video is not so pos po positive, and there's not so much you could build, because basically you have tension, even though they're both saying I'm not racist and they hug at the end, but you have this tension building, so that way every guy is like all tensed up when he hears his side, being attacked, and then when the other guy starts getting, oh, you see, so he's right, and oh no, he's right. So the question is, are we smart enough to be able to see past the 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 emotion that goes on in the debate? And the point of the I'm not racist video is there's a few righteous points, and that is, number one, there's people that are lazy and they don't work, and I saw a lot of black people that were watching this video, and they said it's true. Sometimes there are minority groups in America or throughout the world that are lazy, and they don't want to go out there and work and hustle for their family. And at the same time, if you want to look at it, what the black man said is also true. He says that you're part of the system. How could you claim that you're paying taxes, and we're stealing all the taxes? The system doesn't let us succeed, and I know this myself, because let's say I'm in Israel, and the Israeli government asks you for an apostille, which is a stamp on my birth certificate, and instead of being able to do it in the American embassy, I need to do it in an office in New York to get my birth certificate authenticated. And they don't do that service here in Israel. So the government needs to get its act together in order to make it easier for people to be successful. And the same thing as the green card um, process takes forever. Everyone knows that it's very hard to become an American citizen. And this is government paperwork. This is the kind of stuff the government is supposed to be in charge of making sure that it's easy, just as easy as buying a sandwich or just as easy as signing up for Facebook. And some people might argue, no, it's good that it's complicated because then people don't appreciate it. That's like saying it's good that people have to plow a field before they give them a sandwich because then they appreciate eating the sandwich. Look, everyone appreciates eating a sandwich, and it doesn't matter if they have to work hard or easy for it. If it's easy to eat the sandwich, and we can move on to more important things. The same thing is if it would be easy to get a green card, or if it would be easy to register Aliyah in Israel, then it would give us time to focus on more important things in life. So he's saying, you guys in the ghettos, you guys are going right away to selling drugs and this and that, and you guys are not trying to get a job. And he's saying, no, we try to get a job, but we're locked in the system. So everyone's right, and this I'm not racist video has both of the sides are right. Some of them are right, and some of them are both wrong. Like a white man shouldn't be saying nigga, that just shouldn't be, unless he's his friend. I grew up in Crown Heights. I grew up in the hood, and I can talk to a black person. And again, like many black people in the video said, it depends how you're saying it. If you're saying it in a racist way, then it's a problem. If you're not saying it in a racist way, it's not a problem. The way it's presented in the video, obviously, is the biggest extreme. You see a white guy all in the face of the camera over there screaming nigga this and nigga that. Obviously, that's antagonizing, and that's why it got so many views, because you're trying to make something big and then you want to break it down later. And in Hasidic philosophy, we call this a bad person doing something good will do it in a bad way. For example, you want to rebuke someone, you can scream at him in front of all his friends, and then you just ruin the entire purpose of trying to knock some sense into him. You're screaming at him in the street, getting him all to be embarrassed, and then obviously whatever you were screaming at him doesn't matter because you embarrassed him, so you shamed him. Like a parent trying to educate his kid, you have to do it in a sensitive way. You have to do it with love and passion. If you're mad, don't educate your kid. Walk away, calm down, and come back later. So there's always a good way to do things and a bad way to do things. So it doesn't matter if you're doing a good thing or a bad thing. Someone could be doing a bad thing, but he does it so good that nobody feels it. Like Joseph in Egypt, when he enslaved the entire population of Egypt, they said, "Hecheise oisanu, you revived us. You know, you gave us food for 4 years, for 7 years, in the famine. He made the entire Egypt slaves. He took their houses. He took their families. He switched where they live. He made them slaves to the government. But they said thank you because he did it in the right way and he meant it for the good. And then you see people that they can pretend to be doing something good, but they do it in such a terrible way that they miss the whole point. So there's a bad person and a good person, and we have to try to be a good person. And even if we were grown up in a bad place, we have to still break our nature and try to learn from the good people around us and surround ourselves with good people. Now, another thing with this I'm not racist thing is there's a lot of in general now I'm seeing a lot of like TVs and almost every movie has a plot that has two sides and the good and the evil and everyone's fighting each other. There's this whole concept of pinning people against each other. Imagine you have, but I don't think that's the right thing to do in general. I mean, it might be entertaining, but maybe we should stop cashing into that narrative. Maybe we should be looking for someone that's going to make a video that's going to focus the entire 2, 3, 4 hour movie in a direction of building the world, of getting to a higher goal. Why does it always have to be pinning one against the other? Why can't we make I'm not even talking about the context of the video. I'm talking about the direction that the video is going. Why can't we direct the video in a way that we're building? Like to give you an example, I was fascinated by many videos online that show you how to grow things. You know, they show you how to grow lettuce, or they show you how to grow in your house cherry tomatoes or whatever. I'm fascinated because it upgrades the life of a person. Or all these videos that show you how to, make a quick recipe for food. That's good because it's building a direction that we should all go in. And that building is very, very healthy. But when you have videos like this one, like I'm Not Racist, when you're pinning people together, so yeah, maybe a few points were brought out, but I think that we can bring out those points in other ways that are more healthy. But again, it's a necessary thing for now because as long as there are people asleep and not awake, and they have already decided who they are, what they are, and they have already decided that they know whatever that they need to know, then we always need this friction energy that's going to bring out something else within humanity. And that's why we have these kind of debates, and that's why we have these kind of videos that bring the friction out between the people, which is a good thing. Look, it made me make this video, so I guess it's a good thing. I'm trying to think of other things that they said over there. Oh, the black guy says, "Oh, Donald Trump's gonna blow up the every minute now. I'm scared that North Korea is gonna bomb us," and he's kind of blaming it on Donald Trump. That's stupidity because it's not Donald Trump's fault that North Korea is threatening us. It's not. It's nothing to do with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has nothing to do with North Korea threatening us. It's something that's been cooking, and it's something that hasn't been taken care of, kind of. And I hope that now that North Korea and South Korea are trying to get along, that things are going to de-escalate, and hopefully America won't need to go into any war and won't need to use violence or anything. So that's a good thing, and I think that the black guy at the end throwing that as if it's Donald Trump's fault is just ignorant. It's pretty much continues in the narrative of what the left sometimes likes to do and blame everything on Donald Trump. But whatever, that's not the point. The point, again, I'm not trying to pick points. It's just that both of them are a little bit right and a little bit wrong. And this is what I always say to people that are having issues with their family life. If they're not getting along, the father and the mother. So then, the father and the mother are 50-50, and if they both decide to stay together, then they're going to be 100%. And if they decide to split, then it's going to be 50-50, and they're 50% right and 50% wrong. Everyone has good things that they do, and everyone has not such good things that they do. Everyone has experience in certain areas, and everyone has places where they're lacking in experience, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's as a teacher-student relation. It doesn't matter. Everyone has ups and downs and places where they excel and places where they're not exactly. So this whole the whole thing is to look at the things that are important. And if you want to know, me growing up in Crown Heights, in the hood, in the places that these kind of discussions are speaking about, I think that the public school system could use a little more religious influence. And it doesn't necessarily need to be extreme influence, like teaching them how to pray to Allah or something. It could be basic, like, we want to bring in a rabbi from the Jewish community to talk to the students in the public school, once a month. And, the Jewish community should be aware that there's this opportunity. And if there would be such an opportunity, I would, for example, go to any public school in the Brooklyn area and teach them a little bit about the seven laws of Noah, just to give them an idea, a moral and ethic idea that they might follow in their life. And that would automatically bring down the crime rate, because let's say there's 500 kids in the public school, some of them Mexican, some of them black, some of them Jewish, and then they hear this rabbi speaking about morals and ethics and how it's important not to steal and how it's important not to kill. So then you're not going to steal a Jewish kid's bike anymore just because, they're the Jews, because that rabbi said you shouldn't steal, and he's a nice guy and he has nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong with him. And like that, just to build like even a general relationship with the community. But the problem is that the Jewish kids go to a Jewish school, and the public school kids are in the public school, and they're very, very well sheltered by the government from hearing any, you know, other things. Now, somebody might say, oh, you don't want any rabbi going in there and brainwashing them, right? We have to separate state from this. But, okay, fine. But, like, I think that the seven laws of Noah, for example, should be an acceptable topic that anyone should be able to speak about in any circumstance. I don't think it should be, even though it is religious in its roots, but I think it should get a pass. And I think that the Jewish, population should be able to teach what they believe in the seven laws of Noah. And again, the seven laws of Noah are so general that if they would just teach that to all the public schools in these ghetto communities, then maybe it would make a difference. And another thing that is very sad, and I blame the government and the population in the ghetto at the same time, is that on every street corner you have another drug dealer. In Crown Heights, I know that that's the case, and I'm almost 100% sure that you have to be blind in order not to notice these drug dealers standing at the corners. And I really wish that the government would clean up the streets once and for all. And I think that about 30 kids from Jewish families in Crown Heights die every year these days because of drug overdoses and things like that. And it's very, very sad, and it's something new, kind of. And to the Jewish community, at least, to the Orthodox Jewish community, to Chabad Jewish community, it's something new. And it's very, very unfortunate, and it's terrible. And I think that obviously there are people that say that the government are the ones who supply all these drugs to the ghetto communities, and that has to be also investigated. There has to be an investigation into those in charge of investigating, because obviously they're not doing a good job. And I would say, for example, in the ghetto communities, if you want to lower the crime rate and make it easier for people to get a job, it's very hard to function in a ghetto. And I don't recommend anyone live in a ghetto in Brooklyn or any ghetto. You should always move to a place where their crime rate is low. If you want to move to the outskirts of a community, and maybe you'll be harder to find a job, but still you'll have a quality life and you won't have so much crime. Any ghetto is a problem. I mean, they steal your bike, so you can't buy a bike right away. So even if you have a good job, but they steal your bike right away, so you can't be independent. And these little issues are things that the police should be in charge of. They should put bikes. They should bait 1,000 bikes, and they should collect all the thieves and put them in jail and give them fines, or put them in shelters, or I don't know what. They should help the community so that the people that are actually trying to succeed should be able to succeed. They should give help. They should give free what's it called, psychiatric assistance to teenagers which are having issues with their parents, and they should give free psychiatric assistance to parents which are having issues with their teenagers, because a lot of the friction in the family when you have parents which are busy getting divorced, don't have time to take care of their kids, or whatever, parents that don't understand the new generation, you have this big gap and it makes a lot of issues, and then the kid in his teenage life starts to feel like nobody cares about him, and his parents are already, they hate him because he does this and that and the other which is not similar to them, so they almost throw him out of the system, and then the system has to collect the kids, and the system has to see what to do with the parents, and like this whole, all this could have been avoided if you have a few psychiatric treatments that are available to the community. So I think that, with all the health care and Medicaid and I don't know, food stamps and whatever they're giving everyone, they should make sure that people get psychiatric help, because sometimes a psychiatrist can help these kind of people. And again, I mean, the police need psychiatrists, the drug dealers need psychiatrists. This whole the whole concept of this video of I'm not racist is in order to pick up the lower class and put them in the middle class. That's the point. The point is that whether it's a Trump supporter, redneck, or whether it's a black community member, they should all rise up, and it doesn't matter whichever minority you're part of. Like if you're like me, a Jewish guy, or like my friend Xuan Li, which is a Chinese. I mean, I think you call them minorities. I think I would call them majorities. The different majorities in America, the Jewish majority or the Chinese majority. Why call them a minority? Give them some respect, right? Everyone's important. Anyway, so every majority in America needs its respect, and every majority in America deserves its attention. And we could only do that if we give them the tools to succeed. Obviously, there's a very big incentive in the government to make sure that everyone stays semi-dumb, semi-dependent on the government. The government doesn't want us to be too successful. That's a known secret. So yeah, we are going to have to work hard. And I'm going to quote Mike Cernovich, which is an awesome person, and I share his stuff all the time. But he says that just like when you work out and you're sweating real hard and you're doing push-ups, if you don't hurt yourself a little bit, if you don't feel your body, hurting on the muscles, so then you're not working out good enough to make you stronger. You're just doing the regular, and the regular is not what you're trying to do. You're trying to get stronger than you were before. So that's like a little bit of pain in the exercise. And that's the same thing in life. We have to always push ourselves just a little bit more than we would usually. And we have to feel that pain, and that pain is the success, and that pain is the growth, and that pain is the future. So if I'm going to leave everyone here with one tip, then that's the tip. Mike Cernovich, thank you for that. I really appreciate him. He's a great guy. And that's the tip that I'm going to leave everyone with, and that is, you got to push yourself just a little more than whatever you're used to. And if you do that, then you'll be successful. And ZogYechiHamelech to everyone. And I'm going to leave my YouTube channel here in the comments. And I hope that everyone subscribes, because right now I'm having a few issues. YouTube just came out with a policy which basically knocks all the smaller channels off the charts if they don't get 1,000 subscriptions. 1,000 subscriptions, yeah, within a very short amount of time. So if you made it this far in the video, then I'd really like to ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's very important to me. I have 500, and I think I have a lot of good content. And of course, YouTube's not completely throwing us out, but they're going to still limit us from being very, very successful if I don't get enough subscriptions. So if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, I'd really appreciate if you head over and subscribe to our channel. And I know that you might not, I don't know, feel that this channel is useful to your lifestyle, but if you want to do me a favor, just man to man, human to human, uh, then I'd really appreciate if everyone subscribed to my YouTube channel. And it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but for me it will be a very big deal, and it'll be, it'll be a little push for me to continue doing what I do. And I mean, if you don't know enough about what I do, then you can obviously go into my channel. I really recommend check out some of my raps, check out some of the stuff that I do. Maybe you'll find it interesting. And even if not, just as a human being, I'd like to see some, some love. Thank you. And if you guys can subscribe to my channel on YouTube, I'd really, really appreciate it. Again, I know that everyone has different views, but for the sake of peace and love, and also as I put a post on my page about how they're trying to lock me down, that would be very, very helpful. And if anyone has a YouTube channel that they want me to subscribe to, they can leave it in the comments, and we'll do our best to subscribe. If we see you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. Fair trade. All right, ZogYechiHamelech. I hope that this world is a peaceful world. And again, it's always important to stay calm and chill and relaxed. Educate ourselves more and more, and try to build a narrative instead of building movies and concepts, which is to pin one against the other. We should try to build everyone in a direction of going towards God, going towards our ethics and our morals, embracing our traditions. But the narrative should be the puzzle of how to crack success. That should be the narrative instead of pinning one against the other. And everyone should be running together to do this concept, to do this goal. ZogYechiHamelech, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a great day.